When I got to high school, I was in a few bands, and the main band I was in, my senior year, was a band called Hypothermia.
This is the end of a tradition. It is.
What tradition is that?
The Hypothermia tradition. Tonight, Hypothermia is finished. It's our farewell concert.
So Hypothermia is one of the incarnations of one of the musical groups that Matt and I were in high school. We had a bunch of different ones. Probably the most popular, actually probably the better ones. We had a few bad ones in there as well.
Ready?
Hypothermia is the old garage band. Matt, Christian, myself, Mike, who you're talking to tomorrow, and Carl Beadle.
This is Chris. He's the drummer. Paul!
We rehearsed. Our first gig was a 60s dance at the end of January. And as such, we rehearsed in November, December, January in Christian's drum loft, which had no heat in it whatsoever.
I believe I was the wise ass who came up with it.
Look at you. I've always wondered.
This is Greg. He's our rhythm guitar player. What do you think? And vocalist. What do you think about it?
And star of the 9 o'clock choir. And I think it's
all right.
Yeah.
Well, I see it as the last of a brilliant opportunity to play with a bunch of talented musicians, and I will firmly miss it.
I may have been the original videographer for Hypothermia. I remember doing, because of course I had my mom's video camera, and I remember recording an 8th grade dance at Clinton Township School for them, and doing a couple band sessions, things like that.
I learned a lot of lessons from playing in that band. You know, you learned how to like get along. You know, how well you can work with your friends. I mean, that's an important one. You know, picking songs, compromise, not compromising. You know, but that band pretty much we had a good time.
Mike and I have been playing 6 years. 6 years. And we started here with Louie. And we're going to end here with probably Louie? No. Stairway to Heaven. Stairway to Heaven. That's what we're going to end with tonight. So what do you think about Hypothermia?
Say what?
We're done tonight. What do you think about that?
Well, it's very sad, but I'm glad.
And you're a poet.
As long as I get paid, that's all that counts.
And one of the things that always just amused me about Hypothermia, and it wasn't a particular event, but it's something that I always took with a great deal of pride. I don't know that Carl did as much, but I took it with a great deal of pride. Was that so? In the era that we were in, they were actually, if you think about it, especially that year, they were probably like, give or take, 4 to 6 working bands at North, where we're just trying to be groups of people trying to be bands, you know, and many of whom had some extraordinarily talented people in them, you know, like some people who really knew how to play their instruments and stuff, and none of them really did much of anything. I mean, you know, back to the thing about Matt and getting gigs and stuff. I mean, we were playing all the time, and we were not the best. This is what I want to say, but for whatever reason, we were the most fun.
I learned a lot playing with Hypothermia, but I also learned a lot about the business with Hypothermia. I mean, I was 18 years old and we needed gigs. We're not playing bars, right? Because the drinking age had already gone to 21 at that point. So really the only gigs we could get would be at the other grammar schools for the graduation dances. So being class president, I was able to get us most of the gigs, which I know ticked off a lot of the other bands, but it was good for us. We worked. I probably made more money the last, you know, in the month of June for Hypothermia than I probably made in any month since, which is kind of scary because it paid better in 1987 than it does in 2011.
About of our 100 and counting tour, pretty much. We're ending right here in Clinton Township, and hopefully it will be a blast. See you later.
Oh, wait a second.
and I'll see you later.